Part two of what does it mean when you dream about a basement. Yesterday I talked about the kind of the intro of what it means when you're dreaming about a basement, what God is showing you, and we're going to go now kind of in depth into the very specific, minute things that could come up when you're dreaming about being inside of a basement. Really quick, we talked about how the kitchen means like the heart as the heart of the house. It means like really what do you know is in your heart, and the basement has to do with those things that you don't know are in your heart, like the depths of the things that are in your heart, those emotions, those feelings, those things that you kind of put away and you don't want to think about anymore, or ever. That's what's in the basement. So let's go through a couple of details of what you could dream about, very specific scenario type things that could come up in your dreams, and what is God saying. Very these things are going to help you kind of bring clarity to what God is speaking to you when you're dreaming about very specific things. So things that could pop up in a basement dream scenario. Let's say you're going down to the basement. This is probably, let's say you're not just in it, but you're going down to it. This is the Lord saying, I'm bringing you down into the depths of your heart. Going down the stairs means descending into something. It's not always a bad thing to descend into. I think often it can be referred to as bad, but if you think about when Jacob dreamed about angels ascending and descending from heaven on a ladder, that's kind of what this can be. If you're descending into a basement, God's saying, let me show you what's down here so that we can start to work on it and deal with it. So if you see yourself going down into the basement, God is probably bringing your attention to going down into the depths of a certain feeling, relationship, memory, emotion that you have, and that He wants to unpack that with you. He might be asking you to stay in a specific room. We'll go over what specific rooms mean if you're in the basement and what each room could mean. And He's looking for you to work something out fully with Him. So what does it look like if we work something out with Him? Like if He is our counselor. He is the perfect counselor. If you dream about something, what you can do with the Lord is write it down in the order you received it, and then start asking Him for clarity on the different elements, and kind of the way that you would sit down like to coffee with a friend. That's what I do with God. Like I'll just sit and ask questions, look for clarity, journal out the things that He's saying to me, and that's how I receive revelation in what is He speaking. But I really treat the Holy Spirit often as my counselor, like my perfect counselor. He is my peace, He's my joy, He's my best friend, He's all these things, but He's also a counselor. And so you can sit with the Holy Spirit. If He shows you something in a basement dream that He wants to work out with you, as if you were going to a counseling session, do that with the Holy Spirit. Actually get all the feelings, the emotions, the memory off your chest and to Him, to God. Put all those things into His care and entrust Him with it. You're entrusting Him with the depths of you. And watch what He does when you do that. So if you're going down in the stairs to the basement, God's probably showing you and having you descend into the depths of your heart, some deep places that maybe you don't want to see the light of day. And He's like, let's shed some light on these areas. That's what going down the stairs in the basement means. Let's say that there's boxes or bags that He has you stop and look into. So boxes, especially if it's not opened, then that's probably a memory or a feeling or a situation that's been put away into storage, and you're like, I don't want to deal with that. This could be things that happen when you were young, childhood traumas, painful things that have happened in your 20s or teens, 30s. It really doesn't matter when that situation or scenario happens. It's more about the fact that it wasn't dealt with well the first time. So, and I shouldn't say dealt with well the first time. Let me clarify that. Wasn't dealt with when it happened. We can't always deal with the things when they happen, depending on where we are in relationship to what happened, or just the trauma of what happened. Some of those things we do, our bodies kind of box up for us to deal with at a later date when we can emotionally handle it at the later date. It doesn't always feel like we can handle it emotionally when God brings those things up, but the Lord knows and has a perfect understanding of our ability in space and time. So when he brings something up, we can trust that he knows it's the right time for us to do it. So if you're seeing boxes in your dream, in the basement especially, then the Lord's showing you what's probably cluttering your heart and needs to be opened and dealt with fully with him in order for you to move on and be free of some of the chains and bondage that you might be feeling about a situation or a certain memory or a certain person. If there's a very specific person that's in your dream associated with the boxes, that's who God's calling your attention to, and he's either looking for you to forgive, walk through that whole memory with him of what happened, and then bring that person before the Lord in forgiveness. Forgiving somebody doesn't actually take them off the hook. I think that's what we feel. We feel like, well, if I forgive them, then they're no longer on the hook for what they did to me, and what they did to me was really awful and wrong. They're never off the hook with God. He knows what they did. You can entrust him to administer justice to what they did. So that's what a box means. Bags usually represent a burden, or past burden, or something that we're carrying, baggage that we're carrying. That could be toward money, needing to feel secure, something about business or your job, carrying oppression or issues from the past. If you're seeing bags, that's the Lord saying, you're carrying a burden and you haven't cast that onto me. So really cast that onto me so that I can deal with it for you, so that I can take that on, because that's Jesus's job. He said, cast everything onto me. So boxes, boxed up memories, and bags, burdens, or cares, worries, anxieties. And in both scenarios, God's saying, like, let's unpack what you've got in these boxes or in these bags, so that you can be free from these chains and bondage, and experience greater freedom and joy and peace in him.